Hi there, Chris here with a quick little review for you all and showcase, I suppose. The kind folks over at Games Workshop sent me a copy of Aeronautica Companion book. I was planning on picking this up myself, but they sent me a copy, so I was pretty pleased with that. I've played a few games of Aeronautica. I'm not very steeped in its rules, and been planning on doing other things. But with this book, it has some of these really fun options in it. I'm not going to go over every single little thing. It is the book size is comparable to everything else that Games Workshop produces. It's in that same format. I have no idea what this format would be called. It's about the same size as like the codexes and stuff like that. It's not super thick, but it's pretty got some substantial girth to it. It's about 64 pages in this book, covering everything from everything currently in Aeronautica. It's got some nice pretty pictures, stuff like that. I'll quickly read off the table of contents. It gives you an introduction, campaign play, squadron lists with special rules. It's got rules for the Necrons. It's got the Necron upgrades, Night Scythe, Doom Scythe, and Night Shroud. For the Adeptus Astartes, it has the Adeptus Astarte upgrades, Xiphon Interceptor, Storm Eagle Assault Craft, Fire Raptor Gunship, Thunderhawk Gunship, Ground Defenses, and then it's got two aces, Argan Falshan, it's fun to say, Aethor Vey. I have no idea who these characters are or, where they are in the lore or anything like that. I just, I don't know. Anyway, the Asuriani, it has the Asuriani upgrades. It's got the Nightwing, the Phoenix Bomber, the Vampire Raider, the Vampire Hunter, and then here's a really interesting one. The Hemlock Wraith Fighter, Nightshade Interceptor, Ground Defenses, and then it's got two aces, Aleth, Neth, and Jin Leia. Leia? I don't know. Orc Aircast options, Looted Thunderbolt, pretty darn cool. Looted Marauder, that's very cool. And then, of course, the Mega Bomber. Tau Aircast has some options, just Aircast options. It seems like it's one page. Then the Imperial Navy has the Marauder Pathfinder and the Marauder Colossus. Then it also has new rules for dueling aces, expanded rules, and expanded ace abilities. And then it's got match play scenarios, which is pretty darn cool. Match play, dueling aces, no man's land, and troop insertion. Considering that we have the Thunderhawk, we have the Vampire Raider, so for scenarios where like they're dropping off troops, that kind of thing, I would assume with a title like Troop Insertion. But yeah, so the introduction, pretty darn small. Lots of lovely artwork in this book. Gives you all the rules on campaign play. It gives you about 3 pages. About 3 pages of campaign play. Seems pretty nice. It's pretty geared towards basically upgrading your aces and stuff like that. It's pretty darn cool. It's it's got little tables for you to roll on when ace pilots reach a certain stature. Then the squadron lists gives a whole bunch of rules for compositions and what applies to what. And then it's got even a bunch of special rules that add into the game. Rocket boosters, transport aircraft, valuable cargo, jump troops, stealth, and jink. And I think the jink gets used a lot in the Asuriani forces, I would assume. And of course, it's even got rules for Necrons, galvanized nanoswarms. Or no, this is the rules for the Necrons. This is just, I'm sorry, I jump pages here. Translocation engines, phase shift, adaptive cognition, and reinforce necrodermis. Pretty darn cool. I'm not familiar with the Necrons outside of 40k or Battlefleet Gothic, but they are pretty sturdy forces. A lot of structure points on these things. 4 and 5. These things are going to be tough to take down. Good God. But, I mean, it's Necrons, right? Space Marines, yeah, they get all sorts of upgrades. Ceramite plating, Infernum, Halo launcher, Veterans, Tech Marine, infrared targeting, and armored cockpit. Pretty darn cool. Storm Eagles came in the box. Fire Raptors, I just like these. I just like the look of these models. These Fire Raptors, they have the twin Gatling guns in the front and then side cannons on the side. It just looks like a gunship. It's just it's a cool idea. I'm not really big on Space Marine stuff, but this is one of the few instances that I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Usually, Chris is all about his Eldar, and yeah, the Thunderhawk gunship, 8 structure points. That's going to be a tough one to bring down. It's got tons of guns. And then the aces. Yeah, one looks like he's a salamander. The other one is something or other. I don't know what he is. He fights for somebody. Don't know. Asuriani, they get Hollow Field, Spirit Stones, Asuriani Ace, Mind Sight, and Star Engines. Pretty darn cool. Now, the one that I was really curious about is the Vampires, because the Nightwings and the Phoenix Bombers are already in the box set, and the Vampire has yet to be released as of making this video. The Vampire has got 5 structure points, so it's less than the Thunderhawk, but it's typical for Eldar. I mean, even the fighters and the bombers are only like a couple structure points. Lots of weapon options, but it's really the Jink rule that applies. The bombers don't, or the big plane, the Vampire doesn't get Jink, thankfully, because I mean, it'd be probably pretty broken if this great big plane could Jink its way out of trouble. It's pretty speedy though, typical for Eldar. Not a lot of guns on the Raider. The Vampire Hunter, same stats, but has one more gun, and it's got a really powerful gun, the Pulsar. The Pulsar, I'll say, is not very strong up close, but it's pretty strong at medium to long. It's the same rule, and it's high damage, does extra damage. Yeah, and unlimited ammo, so this thing's just gonna be shooting at you all the live long day. The other interesting one was the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. Pretty weak. It only has heavy D sides, as it does its 40k counterpart, but at close and medium range, holy cramoles, this thing is deadly. No long range ability. Damages really easily, unlimited ammo, and it does extra damage on a 3+. That's kind of tough. It's really close in. Now, the Nightshade Interceptor, the picture they show for it looks like the profile of a vampire hunter. And I was a little bit confused as to what this is. I thought maybe it was like an ace craft, but apparently this is what the planes are called that the Crimson Hunters fly. They're called Nightshade Interceptors. I never used them in the game, so I never really, read too far into it. But apparently, yeah, it's the Nightshades. Or the Nightshade Interceptor is the Crimson Hunters, which is pretty darn cool. So getting little small versions of the Crimson Hunters, as well as the Hemlock, very, very cool. Now I wonder if those will be like a dual kit where you can build it either or will they be separate kits? I have no idea. No sign of those things coming out. I don't even know if those will come out from Games Workshop, like proper, or if they're going to come out from Forge World. Don't know. It also gives the ground defenses, the Pulsar platform, Night Spinner platform, and then gives us our aces. One looks like he's Beltan, the other one looks like it's Corsairs or something. Oh, it's Crimson Host of the Samhan. Okay, so Jin Laea. Anyway, Samhan. Represent. And then, of course, it's got the orc stuff, looted Thunderbolts, looted Marauders. I think that's really cool. It gives you some room to, do some conversion in this. And I think that's pretty darn cool. So any orc players out there who want Thunderbolts and Marauders, go nuts. Just need some of the extra little doodads. I'm sure if you are an orc player in this game, I'm sure you probably have plenty of bits that you could slap onto these planes. I mean, the Thunderbolt looks like basically like a repaint, but the looted Marauder has got more crap on it. It's got more stuffs. Tau Aircast, not much, just kind of defining what they do and like that. And then the Marauder Pathfinder is a variant, and the Marauder Colossus is a variant. Pretty heavy duty. 5 structure points, so about the same as the Vampire. So, interesting. And then, of course, it's got the expanded rules for dueling aces. I really like that. That's a lot of fun. And then matched play scenarios, and then it's got a few pages of scenarios and such inside. And then, of course, lots of pretty pictures of Eldars and explodings and things like that. So, yeah. I'm sure many of you out there who were on the fence, I don't know who's in this game that's on the fence about picking up this book. I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a few of you out there. I think it's a pretty darn good value. I mean, I was going to pick this up regardless. I got a copy, so big thanks to Games Workshop for that. The book's not really that expensive. It's consistent with the price of their books. And yeah, so, you know, for all you Aeronautica enthusiasts out there, yeah, this is probably a must. Just because, especially for any of you Eldar players out there who really want to kind of maybe get a try for or get a feel for the newer Hemlock and Crimson Hunters and stuff like that, you know, you got the rules right here for it. It's got the match play scenario stuff. I think it's a pretty darn good book, and so, you know, I'm sure many of you Aeronautica enthusiasts will probably pick this up, and yeah, and enjoy. Hopefully, you guys found this sort of informative, sort of interesting. I really only concentrated on the Eldar because, you know, Eldar is my thing, right? So, yeah. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Big thank you to my patrons for making these videos possible. And maybe you'll consider hitting the thumbs up, subscribe, ringing the bell, all that stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one.